What is up, guys? It's Brillymister here, and welcome to my video today where I'm going to talk about some of the additional changes they're going to be making to the player-owned farms nerf, basically to nerf the XP and the amount of animals that you can breed. If you do enjoy this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit that little bell icon, and don't forget to drop a like if you enjoy the video. So they've made a couple of additional changes to the nerf that they're going to apply to player-owned farms that'll be coming out on Monday. One of the things is they've changed the amount of XP again. So it was going to be reduced down to 70% of the original, but they reckon that that wasn't enough, so they've reduced it down to half. So I went around and claimed all my animals today, just because if I claim them tomorrow, then they're going to be worth half the XP. So I got like 2 and a bit mil XP. If I did the same thing tomorrow, they'd be worth like 1 mil XP. So, you know, claim them now if you haven't. But they reckon that they're going to be able to, it's further down in here, which I'll look, oh yeah, step 3. They reckon that using all the sort of boostable stuff, like your clan citadel boost, the farming outfit, if you have, is it wise on one of your, wise or enlightenment, the perk on one of your weapons or something that allows you to get extra XP. With all that sort of stuff, they reckon it's going to be able to boost back up to a fairly similar rate to what it was, which I guess is pretty good, but you're going to have to pay a little bit more attention to it now. The XP being based on the health and happiness, I'm a little confused because at the moment, all I do is put food in my breeding pen because they need to be happy for them to breed or something. And all I do is put food in there and they breed, and they're generally happy and healthy when I do it. So it's not going to take much more effort or anything if all you have to do is add food to their cage or whatever once every few weeks or something. So I feel like that was an unnecessary bit. Like, they've already reduced the XP by half. They don't need to make it scale down so you get like 10% of the maximum value, which I'm guessing is 10% of their new maximum value, which is like 5% of what they're getting now. However, I could be wrong on that. They weren't particularly clear on this page here. But I feel like that was an unnecessary step, because if you're already getting half the XP, then that's already a pretty severe nerf to XP. Like, if anything else in the game had half the XP taken away, people would kick right off. And that's the other thing about this nerf is, I guess in the long run, it could be a pretty good thing, but at the moment, and like, it's been in game for so long now that most people that have been doing player-owned farms have got like 200 mil farming or at least 120 farming. I guess at like lower levels for new players coming in, when they can get from like level 70 to level 99 in like 2 weeks. But from the like 99 to 120, anyone that was going to use it has used it now. I'm going to be honest, I didn't know player-owned farms was OP until they released a thing saying they were going to nerf it. Then I decided to check it out, and I don't know when they actually announced it, probably about just over a month ago now. And I managed to go from like 18 mil XP to like 45 mil XP in just over a month. So I can see how it is pretty OP, and that it does kind of need a nerf. But it just seems very unfair on anyone that hasn't already taken advantage of it and is going to do it. So now I'm going to have to do the rest of my last 60 mil XP at like half the rate, which I guess is still pretty easy. And if all I have to do is put food in their enclosure, that will be pretty easy, really. So the next change they made is a change to breeding. So they want to make the animals more valuable. So they're going to make anything that's not in the breeding pen take a lot longer to breed, and it scales depending on sort of like what size animal it is. So the small pens, it's going to be 1.5 times as long, medium pens will be twice as long, and large pens will be 3 times as long to breed. So I guess if you're doing this for money, then it's going to reduce the amount of animals in the game, so they're going to go up, but it's also going to take you a lot longer to breed the animals, so you're going to get less of them. So I don't, at least in the short term, I don't know if it's actually going to make it more profitable for you if you're farming and doing it for breeding in all of your pens. I'm guessing in the long term, as it slowly does, will, but it's definitely going to make it more expensive for anyone that wants to train farming this way. Not only is it going to take you twice as many animals to get there now, because you only get half the XP, but the animals are probably over time going to start going up in price. Farming urns might come down in price though, who knows, because they'll be doing less of them. You nail like 300 farming urns if you check all your player-owned farm in one go, which is absolutely ridiculous. So hopefully this will be a good thing, but again, I'm not sure there was a problem in that bit that needs to be fixed. I think they could have got away with just straight nerfing the XP by 50%, and that would have been more than enough, rather than like overcomplicating it. And knowing Jagex, they're just adding in extra stuff, which is probably going to break the game somewhere else with all the coding or something. So the next thing they've done is reduce the amount of animals that your farm collector can hold. Personally, for me, this has not been much of a problem. All I've done is a bit of breeding in my actual breeding pen with my dragons, and that's just because I grow dragons in there for the XP, and at some point they start breeding. So I get like 1 or 2 free dragons every week or something from it, which is nothing massive. But if you are actually breeding full time, then I guess it could be annoying. But then 90 animals is a lot of animals to get in there. Even 30 once it's been nerfed is still a massive amount of animals that you can get in there. That's a long time that you have to not check your collector guy for your animals to top up that limit. At least they're not removing any that are over the limit, which I think they never really do with stuff like that. I remember when the effigies got nerfed back in like 2011, 2012, when that was the most efficient way to train rune crafting, and you could only get 5 effigies, and there were people that had like hundreds in their bank, and they still got to keep their hundreds of effigies, which is pretty cool. So the next thing they've addressed is the fact that there was no point feeding the animals because they eat so little. I mean, there was a point in feeding the ones in your breeding pen or any ones that you wanted to breed. But other than that, I don't feed any of my animals. And so what they've done here is they've made it so you actually have to feed them to get decent XP out of it. Which, I mean, I guess it means the farm will now work as it was intended to. Like, you can just not feed any of your animals ever and get loads of XP, I suppose. They've also increased the rate in which animals eat their food. So I believe they said they were going to make it that the animals were going to eat their food once per hour. So 1 food per hour per animal. So that's going to take quite a lot of food if time. I think you got, especially like stuff where like the small pens where you can get like 12 in there. That's 12 food now. That's going to add up pretty quick. So it might be pretty expensive to do small animals now just from the food cost. So they thought that these changes would make it also harder to complete the breeding log. So to counteract that, they've made the effects of like the shiny traits and like the hereditary traits a lot more increased. So they're gonna be a lot easier to breed through, and it will hopefully help balance out completing the breeding log. It's not something I've personally been in any way involved with. I literally just put animals in there for XP, and I'm probably going to still do that. And they've also increased the value of shiny animals, so they'll get an extra 25% XP compared to their base animal rather than an extra 10% XP. So I mean, if you train with shiny animals, you'll get a nice rate of XP, but I can't imagine this is going to be a particularly efficient way of doing it. So yeah, they say overall that this is going to reduce the XP that you get from player-owned farms without sufficient effort, which I guess it will, but personally it's been broken for so long that it seems more unfair to fix it now, and that they should have fixed it shortly after release, or at least because it's been out for over a year now. So it seems pretty unfair on people that haven't trained on it. So that's my opinions and kind of my run through of it. Let us know in the comments down below what you guys think, and thank you very much for watching. Cheers for watching, guys. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe so you can see all my future content. This is a little bit different to my normal video style, but I thought I'd let you know about my thoughts and what I personally think about the new player-owned farm update that's coming out. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, see ya.